Good evening, Juan Carlos. Hope you're great. This is my presentation for my ESP2 course named The Use of Platforms in the English Teaching Learning Process. Hope you like it. And to begin with, I would like to tell you some things about this project, starting with the context of this project. And let me tell you that every single year, many students are graduated from the Licenciatura en Idioma Inglés Opción Enseñanza with having certain knowledge related to the application of technology into the classroom, which made them difficult the situation when they apply to a job. Since there is no subject related to this field into the career, the necessity of this type of courses increase. There are many people around the world who want to learn the language, want to learn English, but they don't have the time nor the money to attend regular classes. However, when applying this technology, English teacher can help these people in a easier, in a faster way. Besides that, I can give you some examples of the importance of this technology. For example, this year, the University of El Salvador already count with an online career. Actually, there are 3 online careers in the university: biology, math, and Licenciatura en Idioma Inglés Opción Enseñanza, online as well, which make the application of this technology more remarkable in today's world. Also, the President of El Salvador has invested $5 million for this project, and many English teachers were hired to teach via platform, via Moodle. However, there were some English teachers who didn't have this knowledge and weren't selected or be hired for teaching at the university. One, because they didn't know how to use technology. They didn't know how to use platforms in the teaching learning process. So are these type of courses important? Yes, for me they are. The justification of this needs analysis for designing this course, well, let me tell you that there are 2 main objectives of the development of the needs analysis. First, to identify whether the application of technology in today's world is important or not. Maybe, for example, if language academies use platforms in their teaching learning process or not. If they don't, so these courses are not important. However, based on researchers, based on experts' opinion, I can say that they are important. And language academies are applying this technology to teach English to their students. Besides that, we want to know what kind of activities these type of courses can carry out to make English teachers learn better and faster about the platform. And then we want to know what type of platforms and what type of activities, what type of tools English teachers are more willing to learn. Then what type of tools they want to learn faster or better, or want to emphasize in their learning process. The general objective for this type of course, well, we have some here. First, to apply the appropriate principles for including platforms in his or her teaching learning process, the English teacher's learning process. Besides, to identify the use of tasks related technical vocabulary to platforms, some vocabulary, technical vocabulary, jargon, for example. Besides that, to recognize the steps for presenting content to the students. There are some steps teachers have to follow in order to present the topic, also the activities, and then the evaluation system as well. Then develop task-based activities to put into practice previous knowledge. All English teachers in this course will be presented with new material, with new content, and they have to learn theory but also put it into practice every single day. For example, if they are learning about communication tools, let's say a chat So a English teacher will be asked to create a chat about a specific topic. For example, they are teaching the verb to be, so they can create a chat in order to make their students practice the use of the verb to be. For example, asking and giving personal information using the verb to be can be an option. Then the difference between free online sources and institutional platforms. For example, in the case of the University of El Salvador, they have Moodle, which becomes an institutional platform, whereas some other teacher can use Facebook, which is an open source. And finally, make critical judgment about target practice according to the UNESCO ICT Competent Framework for Teachers. The syllabus framework, anybody can design a syllabus or choose a syllabus based on imagination. There must be some information gotten from the target population, and in this case from experts and from language academies coordinator, to base the syllabus design. In this case, I decided to create this course based on 3 sources. As I told you, English teacher or potential students, experts from this field, from the educational technology field, and also we have these language academies coordinators, which all of them together will bring me the information I need to design this course. This course actually is the one chosen from this course is an integrated syllabus. Mainly, I'm going to make use of the task-based syllabus, followed by a competency syllabus, and finally with content-based syllabus, because all the subjects will be in English, and with the content will be learned as about platforms. Target population, well, let me tell you that my target populations are English teachers, undergraduate students, and new graduate students. Why? New English teachers, actually, maybe they have the experience of teaching English for many years, but they don't have the experience of applying technology to their teaching process. Undergraduate students from the department could be, as I told you, there is no a subject related to education and technology. They have a lack of knowledge about this field, and they were very interested in learning. When applying to a job, there are some institutions that require the use of technology in their teaching process, but maybe they don't know how to do it. So I guess this is a very important population as well. And new graduate students, similar to this one, that they know about the language, they know some didactic procedures to learn to teach English, but they lack of the knowledge. There is a lack of the knowledge of educational technology. The content blocks. Let me tell you that this course will be 12 weeks long. The course length actually around 120 hours. Lesson time 2 hours lessons in the evenings. Size of the group 20 students. Sources prepared course already, an online design course, and also resources available from internet like blogs, videos from YouTube, audios from websites, web quizzes, wikis as well. And participants actually English teachers. As I told you previously, English teachers, new graduated and ungraduated students who maybe have experience, who are teaching right now in any academy or institution. In the assessment, material designing, as I told you, every single day they have a new topic. They have to develop that topic and create something, to produce something. And then at the end we have the final project. Here we have the content, as I told you, 12 weeks. In the first week, they will study the first topic, which is related to attitudes toward the use of technology for teaching English. we have, for instance, the first topic, why is using platforms important? The first week and the first day they will study what is online learning, what involves online learning, advantages and disadvantages of learning through platforms, advantages of teaching through platforms, which is different. Learning is one thing and involves some specific features, whereas teaching involves others. The challenges of teaching through platforms as well in the fourth day, and in the fifth day some common terms related to this, maybe some unknown words. Teacher can be interested in learning. The target performance for this, understanding what the use of platform involves, all the features related to that, and where we as English teachers are. Maybe they don't have anything about this, technology, so they can be aware of that. And then, in the current education landscape and where they want to be. So since they are willing to take this course, maybe they have a purpose in mind where they want to be. Defining the pros and cons of applying platforms in today's education world, and determining the two main group of supporting technology, as I told you, open and institutional. Open from internet, and institutional from an institution, as the word says. For example, Moodle from US, Blackboard from internet. The advantages and disadvantages, of course. Institutional, you have a backup. From Blackboard, you don't have a backup of the information you upload. Maybe the homework the students upload or the information they download. Strategic competences, problem solving, selecting appropriate open or institutional technology for a specific group of students. At the end of this week, they have to select an appropriate institutional or open source, and they have to give the reason, provide the reason why they consider this type of technology can be useful in their institution, in their classroom. The second week, it will be about getting familiar with platforms. In the first day of the second week, they will learn about general overview of Moodle platform. Then a general overview of the Blackboard platform. And then a general overview of a Moodle platform. Then some differences and similarities. We're going to contrast the three platforms in order to decide which is better for my reality in my classroom. Maybe some teacher can decide Moodle because it has more tools, more options, more activities, or maybe Blackboard because we don't have an institutional one, maybe in the place they work. But Blackboard is an open source, so teacher can create a group online and invite their students. So his or her students, so it could be reliable. Or maybe no, Moodle, or maybe one teacher can say that he consider Moodle and Blackboard too difficult for the students, maybe, and that Moodle is easier and more friendly. Could be. So the target performance, getting to know general aspects and specific features of the three main platforms, Moodle, Blackboard, and Moodle, of course, and identifying the similarities and differences among the main platforms. We have selecting the most appropriate platform according to their reality, according to their objectives and goals from a specific course. Strategic competence, we have problem solving, selecting the appropriate platform for their teaching. After studying the pros and cons, the advantages and disadvantages, in week number 3, we have structuring and organizing an English course in a platform and creating in the third week. So we have in week 11, or maybe the first one, in week number 3, they're going to create a new course in how to create this course. And then we have editing the course, including material, some letters and and also the topics and subtopics of the course. Then they have to modify, maybe change the color or maybe include any picture in the course, and then they have to modify it or organizing content as well, and including students' opinion into the course design. For example, if English teachers are asked to create a course, they can ask their students as well what kind of activities. For example, if they would like to learn English through videos or maybe songs or maybe some exercises, so they can take advantage of places, websites such as the Interchange 4th edition, which is a very good one, and also it's online arcade, it's the name. And then and also to include the students' likes and dislikes, opinions. It could be a good idea. And the target performance for that is understanding the process of creating an English course in a platform, editing the course content, and also by using the different tools available. It could be size of the pictures or maybe the videos, time, color, letters, identifying students' performances in the way they can be included into the course. And the problem solving in the study competences, and creating an English course for a specific group of students, putting into practice all the steps in the process. The topic, naming the course, divided the course into the subtopics and some lessons, and also decorating the course as well. Week number 4, they're going to learn something related to communication tools, which is very important. This part is very interesting, and they're going to learn the creation and the application. So, for the first week of the the first day of the 4th week, they're going to learn emails, some theory about email, some activities teacher can perform using emails, and also they're going to create an email account, some exercises they can do with that. In the second day, forums and chats as well. So they're going to learn some theory behind forums, activities, advantages and disadvantages, how they can apply these forums and chats with students, as the example I told you about, in which maybe you are teaching the verb to be, so you can use chats in order to give the students the opportunity to ask and give personal information through the chat using the verb to be without realizing that they are using the verb. Blogs as well, social networks, maybe you can create a group on WhatsApp and you can ask them some questions like, hey, how are you today, and how's it going, and to introduce greetings or ask personal information, hey, how are you, what are you doing, to introduce the present progressive tense or new vocabulary. It's up to the teacher. And online meetings, of course, but using Skype, teachers can have face-to-face interaction with the students, so they can schedule a specific hour and date, so they can have a meeting with them face-to-face without being in a classroom, of course. Target performance is understanding what the use of communication tools involve. So it's not only to use them. I'm going to use this and this. I'm going to use emails and forums. I don't know why, but I will do it. No, it's not because of that, in that way. So you have to have a specific reasons in order to achieve your goals, your objectives. You can make use of them. Maybe not all of them. Maybe just emails and blogs, or maybe forums and social networks. It's up to you. But based on important reasons, based on objectives of the course and theory as well, and determine the pros and cons of applying communication tools in the teaching learning process, advantages and disadvantages, as I told you, and designing and monitoring communication tools in an English course. For example, if you have a group in Facebook, as a teacher, you don't have to let the students, to interact with one another without monitoring what they are publishing, what they are saying about any topic. If you are working with teenagers, that they sometimes, you know, you can have some troubles. Maybe they can say something that is not appropriate, and you can have some problems as an English teacher with their parents. And so in order to avoid those problems, some important, you know, consideration must be taken. In strategic competences, problem solving, creating communication tool. So for emails, they're going to create a tool, an email, and maybe they can give some reason why they can use this with their students. Forms, they're going to create a form with a specific prompt, maybe a question, in order to make the students interact with one another. Chat, blogs, social networks, online, maybe in this part of social network they can use Twitter if they are willing to, but they have to explain how they're going to use it and why. And create communication tools for English courses in order to provide the student with enough means of communication to practice the target language. So the important thing here is that you can make use of all of them, but at the end you have to provide the students with the opportunity to interact. Like in the case of online meetings, that you can give your students the opportunity to practice the oral production. Maybe emails, you can give your students to the opportunity, you can give your students the opportunity to practice writing, and so on. So there are many ways in which you can use them, combine them, but it's up to the type of students you have, the objectives you have, and other considerations that you have to take into account. They're going to be studied in this week. Week number 5, modules of content material. The important part here is to create them and also to edit them. We have editing HTML. Maybe the majority of English teachers don't know how to edit HTML, which is a very easy way to do things. However, you have to know how to do it. And maybe you can change the size of a picture, of a video, the length and everything, so some details, but you have to know how to do it. So in this, the first day, they're going to learn how to do it. Basic operations, not a big deal, but basic ones, the most useful for the English teachers. Then we have tabs, resources, how to add resources to the platform, books, lessons, glossaries, which is very important. Imagine you are with advanced, actually in any level, but imagine you're working with basic students, so vocabulary is very important. So they are learning new vocabulary. So through the glossary, you can present the new vocabulary. You can make groups like blocks of new vocabulary according to the lessons. If you have 12 lessons, you can have 12 blocks of new vocabulary to your students. So if they have any doubt or any question about a word, so they can go to the glossary and check it out, and then they realize the meaning of the word. And they also wikis for information, so they can edit the wiki and create it as well, and scores. And the target performance is classifying the different modules of content material, the 3 different platforms offer, and their characteristics. So they're going to study all these modules using Moodle, using Blackboard, and using Edmodo as well. And then determining the pros and cons of using modules and content material. So they are very useful tools you can take into account. However, you have to know how to do it, and all the disadvantages that maybe all of them can bring to your classroom. And then you have defining the most appropriate for an English course based on their characteristics. So after them, they decide, oh well, I guess the most appropriate for my students is glossary, because I have basic students, and maybe some lessons that I can design to help them. Or maybe the resources is, the most important part for me, because I need to include more to my platform. It's up to the teachers, of course. And problem solving and structuring the modules, and also to provide more means of production to the students as well. Week 6, we have activities for a course using platform. So they already work with communication tools, also modules, and now they're going to learn how to create activities, appropriate activities for their students. They have questionnaires, diaries, homework, workshops, surveys, exam, and quizzes. And then the target performance, and here you have dates, developing suitable activities for an English course using platform. So you have different activities there, questionnaires. Maybe there are some, of course, there are some principles in order to use questionnaire, or maybe the right moment you have. For example, you are studying, after studying a unit, you can have a questionnaire the students can work on, and as a group or individually, and then present it to your class. Diaries, they can write everything that has happened to them during the day, and after the term or at the end of the unit they have to present it. Homework assignment, of course, and workshops, surveys for them, maybe if they like the way you're teaching or not, or about food, maybe what is their favorite food or something like that. You can use surveys as well, or exams at the end of each unit, or quizzes at the end of each week as well. Target performance, developing suitable activities for an English course using platforms, determining the pros and cons. Okay, all of them has advantages and disadvantages, pros and cons, and different activities and the way they can be applied in real scenarios. Structuring the activities in such a way the objectives from a course could be achieved at the end of the course. Strategic competences, problem solving, selecting and designing appropriate activities for the English course so students can learn easily, can get easily involved in the learning process. All these activities should be, appealing to the students, make them feel, comfortable and willing to participate to these activities. This is the week 6. Week 7, we have administration and the grading system. 4 topics: participants, evaluation, activities record, and the grade record. Target performance, establishing the procedures to administer an online course using one of the 3 platforms. So you can administer all, participants, evaluation, activities, and everything using the one of the 3 platforms, but it's up to the teacher which platform they will use. And providing feedback or of activities and evaluation after evaluating the students, maybe after an activity, so you can give personal feedback or general feedback if you want to. It could be formative or summative. It's up to the teacher as well. The strategic competence of problem solving, designing the administration of their own online courses, taking into consideration participants, evaluation, and everything. Material designing, week number 8. In this part, in order to create the material, in order to design the appropriate material for their students, teachers have to know how to do it. First, they know how to create it, and then if they don't like the way it goes, maybe they can edit it, but they should know how to do it. And then we have in this part material designing, working with editors and creating videos, editing videos, creating audios and editing audios, selecting images and editing images as well. In this part, teachers will learn how to work with movie maker, maybe some basic skills using Photoshop, and also they will be introduced to the use of Paint from Microsoft, which is very basic but very useful as well. Target performance, creating and editing material from different sources, as well as own material produced by the teacher, determining the pros and cons of using material from the web and own material. So they can download a video, maybe they can edit the video, or maybe they can, if they feel more comfortable, they can create their own and show it to the students exactly based on the objectives they are following. And strategic competences, problem solving, editing different material or to create to be used in an English course, providing reasons to selection and purpose. Then we have to the most important part, the most interesting as well. We have week number 9 and 10, final project. In this part, English teacher will create a course using platform for English students. So they're going to decide which platform they're going to use first. Then they're going to select a specific population, preferably English students, of course. And then the target performance, applying the knowledge and also the materials, tools, communication tools, modules, and everything they have learned from this course, and to develop during the course and to a specific population of English students. Strategic competency, problem solving. Offer a course to a group of English students using all the material designed during the course. They have to select the best activities, materials, and communication tools to be improved in order to improve the students' English level at the end of the 2 weeks course. So they have to select all the activities, all the material they have designed, to put it together into a platform, select the population, and then teach them for 2 weeks using the platform. And at the end, they have to measure whether students have improved or not, or they continue the same, or maybe worse, or maybe they're better. So at the end of these 2 weeks, they have to realize and to know that. So final project again. After the week 9 and 10, they have week 11. In this week, participant will have one more week, this one, week 11, to work on the report of the result gotten from the course they have been given. In this part, they have 7 days to put everything together and to write their final report based on the experience they had had teaching through platform to a specific group. After that week, after finishing the report, in week number 12, they have to present the report, to hand in the report to the teacher, and also to give a presentation about the results, the experience they have had teaching those students. The content of this course, we have Moodle, of course, how to use Moodle and Moodle course sites, and also opening up education books, among others. We're going to use other books from internet related to the application of technology, websites, and social networks into the classroom. Evaluation system, as I told you, each activity will be evaluated. Each topic will be evaluated in the date they have learned that. If English teacher have a study email production will be evaluated in that day. At the end, of course, we have the final report, which is 45% of the global grade, to have the 100%. Here we have the same explanation, but more clear. We have the percentage of assessment have been allocated as follows. Individual tools production, like in everyday production, 20%. We have quizzes. What these quizzes will be about? Well, these quizzes will be about to create a set of tools. Each week, at the end of each week, a teacher have to create a whole group. For example, 5 topics have been studied. They have to create 5 communication tools to say something about one specific topic, and they have to put it into practice in the real scenario in their own classroom. Material designing, in the part of material designing, which is unit 7, they have to create the material. They have to give reasons and support the material as well, to edit it, to create it, and to modify it. Then 20% as well. In the final project, we have 45% of the whole grade. Total, they must have 100%. Methodology for the needs analysis. Well, as I told you, the main sources for this needs analysis in order to design the syllabus have been experts. To say something, Licenciado Bruno and also Licenciada Claudia Vides, coordinators from different academies. Let's mention Open Doors or Baptist School as well. English teacher, well, the researchers have contact with different English teachers from the University of El Salvador who graduated from the University of El Salvador, and now they are working as English teacher. So the survey was sent via email to them, and they answered the survey and sent it back to the researchers. Experts were interviewed by the researcher, as well as coordinator in language academies coordinators. In order to determine what, there are many important things that the researcher was looking for. In this case, personally, I was looking for to establish the importance of platforms in nowadays English teaching, which according to the result was very high, because most coordinators from academies said that it was very important. However, there is something important I would like to mention, is this. When they were asked whether they will hire an English teacher who didn't have knowledge about the implementation of technology in the classroom, they said that they will hire an English teacher who didn't know anything about platform. However, if he or she has the knowledge, it could be a plus when hire those teachers. They can have advantages of among other teachers. Which platforms are more used in the language teaching institution? As you can see in the results from the needs analysis, Moodle, Blackboard, and Edmoodle seem to be the most useful when teaching a language. What English teachers are expected to know about platforms in the labor market? They said everything. Like 100% of the interview teachers said that everything will be nice to learn, even though they give some emphasis on the grading system. It may be besides important thing we have from the needs analysis. We have also it was very useful to identify what platforms are used, as we mentioned, Edmoodle, Blackboard, and Moodle. Besides that, some teachers mention T-Box as well, which in other courses could be taken into account, but not for this one. Potential students' willingness to learn about the use of platforms. As I told you, all teachers were willing to learn about this topic, since they don't know almost anything about that, but they had the necessity as well as the willing to learn more about this. Time availability for the schedule, according to experts like Licenciado Bruno, he recommended 2 hours per day to learn for about 3 months to learn, basic stuff from platforms. And students' profile, which, as I told you, English teachers, according to Licenciada Claudia Vides and Licenciado Bruno, there must be English teacher who have already knowledge about the language, as well as didactic. Some basic skills using computers, for example, word processors and PowerPoint presentations development as well. And basically it's that. Resources, as I mentioned, English teachers manuals for Moodle, for Edmoodle, and for Blackboard, expert coordinators, and English teachers as well. References and design material to be used. Well, in order to design this material, remember that since we're talking about the use of platforms, you can include to your course many sources, for example, videos, pictures, audio, sounds, everything you want. So, but in order to do that, you can, make use of this software. For example, in this course we're going to use Movie Maker, Blogger as well, and Sunal, which is a very good website in order to create websites, web quests. Sorry, and also chats. We're going to learn how to use the chat from Moodle and from the other platforms. But also we can work with online chats. Besides that, audio recording software to say something, podcast from internet, and video conferences using Skype. And that's it. Thank you very much for your attention, and Merry Christmas, and I hope to see you next year, teacher. Thank you very much. Bye.